Conflict within your teams is inevitable. It will happen at some stage. And if it doesn't, then you're actually living in a world of artificial harmony in which you're not getting the best possible results. People are agreeing face to face, but then when you leave, everyone feels nice and nothing actually happens. Believe it or not, conflict is a good thing for a team. Building a team is a process. And if you see it as a process, conflict is an essential part in which we need to navigate through effectively. It can be so beneficial for your teams as it encourages new ways to do things. You challenge the status quo, which leads to new and different ways of doing business. You look at COVID as an example. It also exposes weaknesses that you could possibly have within your operational procedures, your policies, and also what's coming in the future. So identifying challenges that you may have that could derail the team in the future. If you avoid conflict, if you run the other way or put your head in the sand, the whole process of conflict is going to escalate. And you're going to start building up hostilities between individuals and team members. It's going to lead to a negative workplace culture. And actually, more often than not, it's going to be a very toxic place to work. By embracing conflict and seeing it as an essential component to building a team, you're actually going to enable yourself and your team to navigate this effectively. And you're going to manage the conflict in a really effective way to get the best possible results. But see this, it's a process. Think of it as a process. All of these, if we call it an intervention, they're not always nice. You will have anxiety, there will be stress. But if you follow a process, you have a set of principles, it makes it a little bit easier for you to implement within your teams. So that's what I'm going to share with you now. I'm going to share with you 10 principles that you can use for your team to navigate and master conflict within your teams. Okay, let's go for it. So here are the 10 principles that you can share with your team to master conflict. So number one is start with the intention or the goal that you want from that session. You're going to start taking control. So you need to set the intention of the session. Number two is assume positive intent. Everyone turns up to work to do a good job. So if you assume that positive intent, you're going to stay above the line. You need to actively listen to what's being said. And that is a really easy thing to say, but a hard thing to master, because you need to put all your biases and leave them at the door to actually listen to other people, to maybe what the conflict is. Number four is think before responding. So think before responding. If you don't think, you're just reacting, and that's coming from an emotional place, which isn't going to get you a good outcome. Number five is be respectful of others. It is stressful for other people as well as yourself. And we all come from different places and different backgrounds. So it's really important to respect each other. And we all have a different point of view. Number six is attack the problem, not the person. A really good tip for this one is use a whiteboard. So get a whiteboard, put the problem on the whiteboard, and then you can talk at the problem rather than at the individual. Really essential. Accept responsibility for your part and own that responsibility, whatever that may be. Number eight is use direct communication. So be direct. I always call this straight talking. So just be direct. And this is where practice really helps if you've got an issue there. Focus on the future, not the past. That's really important because we want to move the needle forward. So we need to focus on what's coming ahead rather than what has happened in the past. And that will, if you focus on the past, that will hold you back. And number 10, be proactive. Do something about it. So if someone brings up a really sticky topic in there, then just, attack the problem and then say, right, this is at the end of this meeting, this is what we're going to do about it. We're going to do one, step 2, and step 3. Really simple to a set of principles there, really powerful at the same time. Now let's talk about how we actually integrate this within your team. So number one, you need to educate them on the 5 phases of team development by Bruce Tuckman, or Patrick Lencioni's 5 dysfunctions of a team, or Project Aristotle around Google's search for the perfect team. It all starts with trust. Conflict is a consistent part. If we stay in conflict for too long, then we're never going to get a high performance team. Share the principles of these 10 principles within the team. My top tip would be, call your next team meeting and say, hey, look, we need to actually work our way to have active disagreement, which is actually a good thing. We need to be able to attack the problem to get the best possible results in the action. So I'm going to introduce these 10 principles. Let's discuss them. Maybe they will change. And I'll probably suggest 9 times out of 10, they will change to be really specific for your team. Frame everything in a positive light. We don't want to anchor the negative. And then we need to start role modeling these principles. You as a leader need to start calling people out, setting the goal of the session, actively listening, assuming positive intent. You need to start doing that. Everyone else will follow. What is the process? If you then have conflict and you need to have a bit of a session, here is the process. Okay, you need to introduce the facts, introduce what the impacts of those facts are and the feelings. Second part is discuss, so take turns. Google's Project Aristotle research said functional teams take equal amount of turns to speak, and it's really important. Even the quiet ones, you give them a chance to speak. Ask questions rather than coming up with assumptions to get down. It's almost like 5 whys. Decide, what is the outcome of this session? So what is the outcome? If it's a problem with manufacturing or a problem with sales, what is the outcome? What is the action we're going to take? And then final one is, you need to act. So what action are you going to take leaving here? Once everyone's left here, this is the agreed actions we're going to take. And then we back each other up no matter what happens. Bottom line is, team conflict is a normal and healthy part of building a team. It's about managing the team conflict, creating a culture in which dissent is actively encouraged, because we're getting the best possible information at that exact time. You're doing it in a respectful way. And I guarantee you, I've worked in teams in which, yeah, it is a bit uncomfortable at the start, but then we just start to team norm it. And it's a normal thing for us to have active debates within teams. And then we leave and then we move on to the next thing. No grudges are harbored. As soon as we've decided, it's away we go, and we just start performing. It is essential that you take some sort of action for that. If you want the 10 principles, then just contact me. Or just drop a comment in there. I've got crib sheets for all of this. So start taking action. See conflict as normal, healthy, part of team building.